ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாங்க.
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இதுல இருந்து வாய்ஸ் வரலன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Hi everybody, have a great day. Welcome you all for the day 4 session. In the last session, we had little description regarding the yin and yang nature of the elements and the yin and yang nature within us. Today, we will be going towards the details of the element air, the air within us, around us, which are all the things related to that. What air is going to procure us, what air looks after within us. So every detail regarding the air element. As we all know, air is the breath, the life breath. As long as the air goes in, goes out, goes within us, supply and the wastage air is being exhaled, we are considered life. Once we stop this process, or when the nature stops this process, our life is at the end. We all know. In comparing the air with the nature of other elements, air is the element which always tends to stay above all the elements, above all. Air cannot be kept down and some other element can be kept above that. Air always stands above all elements. As we have seen the yin-yang nature, so the air, the element air has a yang nature in basic. Elements too have the nature, and the air is the element with the yang nature. It tends to stay up. The Chinese mentioned that as metal also. The precious metals deep inside the air, very valuable. They relate that with air. Air is mostly unstable. It cannot stay at one place. But air can be retained at certain locations by means of metals. Metals retain the air element energy. Air can be felt only by their movement. When air is in motion, we can feel the air touching our body, anything, object, a little bit the movement. So without the movement, the air cannot be felt also. The persons with air energy orientation too will be much interested in moving around. They will try to establish their presence by means of movements, moving all around. As seen earlier also, the air is the less resistant element. They have the least resistance. Other elements, they have little resistance, but air do not have any resistance. If you move any of your body organs or any object here and there, it crosses across the air and we do not feel much resistance. But when the object becomes much wider, then the resistance will be felt a little bit. Because of which, when some objects is designed to travel in air, to take advantage of the air, the least resistant air, the air travel is always much faster than other travels. In other medias, we will not be able to travel much faster, but in air, we can travel much faster because of its least resistant nature. The person with rich air energy, air-oriented persons, will also have that tendency to move faster, very faster, the fastest, can say. Sometimes when it is travel, the object can travel faster than the speed of sound. We consider the speed of sound as the maximum one, but being in other media, other elements, within the other elements, we cannot reach that speed. Because of its least resisting nature, it can also bear much pressure. It can be compressed to higher pressures than any other elements. Highest pressure it can be. When it is kept under higher pressure, it tends to expand. That's why we fill the tubes, wheels with air, which can give a much solid cushioning effect. Cushioning as well as they tend to retain the pressure also. A person with rich air orientation will also have the tendency to bear the pressure, heavy pressure, and he will also make use of the pressure to take advantage for his better performance. The pressure, as much as the pressure is, as much as is the performance. As you have seen, air, how this, we all know, we inhale and exhale daily, every moment. We cannot survive without air, even few minutes, we cannot survive. And we also know we cannot store the air within us. For 2 days, let me store the air within me, like storing other elements, food, water, others. Air cannot be stored within. At the same time, we cannot take less air also. For our survival, minimum survival, we need to take enough air every moment. Then how this air energy gets imbalanced? How we can regulate that? How we can make use of that air for our better performance? How we are going to handle the element air? So, like the pressure maintained on wheels. In the introduction also, we mentioned this thing. What drives the vehicle faster? Quicker. We may feel the fastest engine, the fuel, its capacity, caliber, everything, purity, pureness, everything. The best driver is on the seat. But If air is removed from the wheels, from the tubes, definitely the vehicle cannot move also. It cannot move. The same way within us also, the air is to be retained, maintained at a constant pressure. How the constant pressure can be maintained? How we can feel the pressure difference, variations within us? If someone had a good news, a happy news, definitely we breathe fresh, much fresh, something. We tend to consume more air. If you had a sad news, something, grief, then definitely the breath it starts going shallow. If we happen to listen to some unpleasant news or someone scolding us, definitely our breath goes uneven. Whenever this breath goes uneven, definitely our performance goes below down. If you are able to maintain the constant pressure, yet you may be given any stress, but if you are able to breathe steadily, then definitely air is going to prove the best within our body, as in the wheels of a vehicle. When the wheels have constant pressure, the vehicle has a very good control. The engine to its best performance can be tested. The fuel average mileage can be given, the best average can be taken out. The performance of the efficient driver also can be tested. Similar to the same way, similar to that, our body organs also will be at their peak performance. Our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, hands, legs, everything. When our eyes are at their best, it can record any image seen once, record any image and retain the image for years together. When our nose is at their best, the orders can be any sort of order, fumes. It can smell as well as record. It can find, it can distinguish, differentiate different orders of all objects, subjects at any temperature, anything. Our tongue, when they are at their best performance, they can taste, they can speak best. The flavors can be tasted fine. Any recipe tasted once can be cooked at the very next moment, or can be described in the best way. What are the ingredients used? What temperature it's being cooked? Everything can taken out. It can explain in a very clear way if it is at its best. If your hands and legs are at their best, you can be a great painter. You can be a great musician. You can be a great fighter. Anything. All these things can be achieved when our breath is constant. So whatever the difficult situation may be, if you are able to balance your breath, able to have a stable breath with constant pressure. Definitely you will get the energy to come out of that situation. You can plan better way to handle the situation. Not only external, in internal ways too. Yesterday too, I had a case, a patient with a neck issue. He could not turn his left or right, his neck got locked somewhere, his neck. With the mean of air, by means of your breathing, all such difficulties can be sorted out within no time. As he was suggested to hold his neck, where he feels the pain, where he could feel the pain. Beyond this, he could not turn. Hold there, feel the pain. Have a stable, constant breathe once or twice. Have a breathe, relaxed way. Have a breathe. In that position where your neck is locked, the lock is going to open as early as possible. Do it once. Have a relaxed breath. 1 or 2 relaxed breaths, and you can leave it. After half an hour, 1 hour, you can test them once. It will be further more. You will be able to bend your neck, turn back your neck. So this time when you breathe, yeah, stable, steady, relaxed breathe. The lock is going to automatically open, and it happened without even touching. A catch at the neck is being released. Cured it is. So you may have any sort of trouble within your body, any sort. Just focus your mind on that. Have a relaxed breath, few breaths. Automatically, the body is going to get the energy to handle the situation, whatever it may be, Need not to worry. So at optimum pressure, when you are able to have a relaxed breath, definitely you are going to improve your performance in all the way, physically as well as mentally. Very simple. When you are told to run faster, definitely everyone first hold their breath. As long as you hold your breath, you will be much faster. When you release your breath, when you could not hold your breath, then your speed comes down. You may not be able to continue that run. You may stop there itself when you release your breath. It's a very simple fact. You are asked to lift something, heavy object. Lift this heavy object. Everybody, no, they have to hold their breath to lift that object. So these are all examples. When breath is being held inside, like a constant pressure in the wheels, tubes. When you hold your breath, definitely you are going to have more power. Until death, this holding capacity is not going to come down. Till death, you can have your power only by means of the air element. Other elements, they will not help you. When we start becoming older, other elements, step by step, their capability to procure you the power goes down, but air never goes down. The energy from the air element can be procured, attained, retained at any of your age. Age becomes just a number, 90, 95, 100. Need not to worry. If you are able to have a relaxed breathe, all your organs are going to perform their best. Age is not a matter. You will be also having your best performance. Yeah, when air goes out, then everybody is going to end their life. But till that time, you can be very powerful only by means of air. Air is such a thing. There's no age for enhancing the air. Any situation, just a relaxed breathe. So just remain this one. All air related exercises, meditations, yoga, different breathing practices, anything. All are to have a relaxed breath only, irrespective of the situations around you. They try to train you to have a constant breath. So this is the need of the air. Air cannot be retained within for few seconds also. You cannot store for the next day, but can perform best just by a relaxed breath, constant breath. Simple. So as far as the organs are concerned, we have air related organ. Why we have started with this air element? In the chart of the organ clock, we began the day early in the morning, 3 o'clock. That is the timing of the lungs. 3 to 5 is the timing of the lungs. We are also going to follow the same sequence in our sessions. Today we will be taking the first element, because lungs and then large intestine are the organs of the air element. So today we will be seeing in detail the nature of air element within us, around us, and how it can be handled for our best performance. Lungs are the organs, that is the in organ, which is responsible for procuring the air element energy to us. The features of air. Chinese, the metal, they mention as metal. Within us, the in organ, lungs are the in organ which are to procure the air element energy to us. Lungs are the in organs. If you see the lungs are the very simple example. We all know that lungs take the oxygen from the air and supply them to our body organs. We all know it's a very clear organ which does not confuse with others. Lungs are the organs to in organs. In is the nature to receive the energy from the nature. So lungs are responsible to procure the air energy to every cell and every organ of our body. Every cell. It is procured with sufficient oxygen. In the present situation, everybody is influenced with the fear of lack of oxygen. What will happen if we do not have sufficient oxygen in our cells, in our body? So lungs are responsible for that purpose. If lungs are getting affected, they are not able to procure enough oxygen to the body. Definitely it is a short of air energy. If you see the location of the lungs, lungs are located above all the organs in our body. All the organs. It is in the chest, next to our neck. It is located above all organs. The top, above means it mean the yang nature. As we have seen, air is the element which always takes the upper position. The element air is of yang nature and the in organ of the element air is located above all the organs. As we have seen in the organ clock, which they represent the 5 elements with yin and yang nature, they are explained of 12 organs. So above the organ which is above all the 12 organs, the topmost position is held by the lungs. So it has a great control on the organs which are above the neck. So when the air is being inhaled, when you inhale the air, the inaction of air, the supply of air to our body happens. When we exhale air, the yang nature of the air element occurs. So whenever we are in short of air energy, we are supposed to inhale air in an intense way, quicker way of breathing in. Whenever we breathe in quicker, the lungs are energized. Lungs get more energy. The in organ gets more energy when more air is supplied inside. As an organ which is above, the lungs are on the top of our body. This is our body. All the 12 organs are located within. So these lungs, they play a major role in procuring energy to the parts which are above the lungs. That is our neck, our face, our sense organs, head. All these have much more precise differences related to the performance of the lungs. Lungs are in a position to control the flow of other element energies to the head, face. If lungs are weaker, if the air could not be breathed in a proper way, if we could not breathe in, the lungs definitely are weaker. If the lungs are weak, then other element energies tend to take the upper position. They cross the performance of the function of lungs, position of lungs, and they try to attain the upper part. So any disorder in the face or head, the lungs have some contribution in that problem or towards the solution of your face and head. You want a perfect head, perfect face, bright face, everything. All your sense organs which are in the face to perform better. Our lungs, they are to be healthy. And lungs can be healthy if we can breathe in a little faster. Intense breathe in. If you breathe in faster, the lungs get more air energy. And as we said, lungs are with the responsibility of procuring air element to every cell of the body. So all this, they have a very good control in the lungs, being on top of the body. The yang organ, the next organ, the large intestine. Yang organs are to execute, make use of the air energy within the body to perform the action, whatever is allotted with. So as we have seen, the lungs are in the top of the body, above all the 12 organs. The large intestine is at the bottommost position. Large intestine till our anus, the tract of the fecal to be excreted. The yang organ of air element is at the lowermost position. The yin organ of air element is at the top, and the yang organ of air element is at the bottommost. What link they have? They do not have any visible link. No link at all between the lungs and the large intestine. So the lungs are to inhale receive the air element energy, and the large intestines are to make use of that air energy. How it is happening? The organs are supposed to be nearby. There has to be some transmission from here to there. Then only they can make use of it. But this air element, they do not have any direct visible links. But in between this, there is a link which is not visible to us, common man or common science, general science. But there is a link. In this link, the leftover, the 10 organs, as we have seen, the 12 organs, in between 10 organs are there. The performance of all the 10 organs are related to this transmission. When they are healthy, then only this transmission happens. So large intestine makes use of the air element energy. As we have seen, the nature of air. Air helps you in performing your best, making your every organ to perform best. Air helps. But it can happen only when air element is being made use of within the body. So all these performances, whatever we had talked, the best performance can be achieved only when large intestines performs best. When the activities of large intestine are best, then only all our body organs, all our sense organs, all our organs, hands, legs, whatever may be, they all can perform their best only when large intestine is at its best. So what large intestine is doing generally? Large intestine is an organ which can excrete, dispose of all the solid, liquid as well as gaseous waste of our body. It is the element which has such a nature, specific nature. The purpose of it is to dispose of the solid, liquid and gaseous waste of our body. So if these wastes are being disposed of in a fine way, all the organs of our body are going to perform their best. So what is the best way to enhance or boost the function of large intestine? As we have said, if you inhale air intensively, then lungs get the energy. In the same way, when you exhale energy in an intense way, inhale in a common way and exhale in a faster way. Exhale it faster. From the abdomen, bottommost part of your body, the total air is to be thrown out with intense speed. Then your large intestine gets its energy, maximum energy. To make use of that energy, it has to be empty. The young organs are supposed to be empty at least once in few days. Once in few days, the large intestine is supposed to be fully empty. Then only whatever energy, air energy is procured to the large intestine can perform best. Mostly all the traditional medications, they start their treatment by emptying the large intestine. This is the best way. So if you empty the large intestine, then whatever activity you do, whatever medication you take, it's going to work out to the best. So empty the large intestine for its best action, for its best performance. So large intestine, As we have seen, it is to dispose of. The timing for large intestine is for disposing morning 5 to 7. At this time, if we can dispose of, that can be the best timing. Large intestine is the young organ, but located in the lowermost in position. So they be in the contrast position, but help in the best performance of all the parts of the body. As we have seen, the lungs are the upper part of the body, regulates the other elements activity in the upper part, the head and face. In the lower part, which is below the large intestine, our legs, the lower limbs, their best performance is also regulated by the large intestine. The flow of other element energies to the bottom part of the body is regulated by the large intestine. So the large intestine, it can perform to the best only when it is emptied, at least once in few days. Then the next part is the organ which it maintains. The air element maintains our skin. The air element maintains our skin. Skin is the canopy of our body, overall body. Skin covers our body in an overall way. It covers just to protect our body from all the external factors. It protects from every climatic changes, various factors. Now what we talk about the germs, this thing, that thing, and all. The skin plays a major role in protecting us from all these facts. It protects. It acts as a shield to protect us. If the skin is stronger, if the air element nature is stronger within us, then any change which is occurring outside will not harm us. Any germ which spreads through air will be stopped by our skin. Our body will be protected from all the sudden changes occurring instantly. Few of us may have the disturbance. If there is a sudden change of climate, hot or cold, immediately few people fall sick. It is because of their weak air element. If the air element is strong enough, the skin will stop the change, climatic change, from attacking our inner organs immediately. It will hold the change. It will give enough time for the internal organs to get adhered to the change which is happening outside. If the timing is not given, if the external change reaches the internal body instantly because of weak skin, then definitely we are going to fall sick. Generally, what we say this as our immunity. For a better and best immunity, we need to have sufficient air energy. The functionality of the air within us by means of large intestine, the excretion, all these things are to happen in a smooth way. If they are affected, then the skin may become much weak. The shield of our body may become weak and can be attacked by all sort of discrepancy creating elements. And one more thing is the skin disorders, skin diseases. They also have a very close relation with the air energy. And air has very close relation with our breathing tendency. If you have fluctuating breath and all, or fluctuating your breath by reacting extremely to the surroundings and situations, definitely you may have a skin disorder. It's a very difficult thing to handle. Skin disorders are always very difficult to handle. But by means of air energy, air element energy, by handling it smooth, the skin disorder can be brought under control. And another thing maintained by the air is our body hair, the hair follicles of our body. Whenever there is a sudden change or some shocking situation you face across, the hair follicles they tend to become erect, vertical to the skin. So they are related to the air element energy. The external organ for the air element is nose. Generally, the external organ acts as the gateway for the element energy. As we all know, air enters our body through the nose. All the external organs which are in our face are gateways to the element energy, to their respective element energy. Nose is the gateway for air element. It is also the external organ which represents air element. The shape of the nose is similar to the lungs. It is similar to the lungs. You need not to scan your lungs on what condition it is. The condition of the nose is similar to the condition of the lungs. We would like to energize the lungs, suppose. When we like to energize the lungs, whatever the activity you do here in the lungs, generally when some air element is being disturbed, we tend to do some activity on the nose, something, sneezing, coughing, some making noise with the nose, rubbing the nose. These are all activities which give direct energy to the lungs. Any activity done on the nose. So it is just in the shape of your lung. So the lung within us will also be in the same shape in both the sides, hanging like this, the central tract. The nose is the external organ. It is not only the gateway. It not only takes in the air, but also gives out the air. In other external organs, it may not be like that. The element gets in also in the same path and gets out also in the same path. Nose has that speciality. It takes in as well as leaves out the air. By regulating these in and out features, there are breathing exercises to enhance our performance. Regulate the intake and inhale and exhale practice. How to regulate this? It is a single entrance through which the air circulates. When we go to the other element external organs, you will feel the difference. So nose is the external organ for air element. The season for the air element. Every year has some seasons, and every season is with some element energy orientation. The rainy season as well as the autumn season, or the autumn, either of can be named either way. This season is related to the air element energy. In this season, actually, there is sufficient air energy, adequate air energy available in the nature. The air energy need by the body for the whole year can be received and restored by the body. The body restores for its need throughout the year. Generally, if you observe in the rainy season, generally we tend to get the disorders in the nose, lungs, skin, something like that. So these are all the specific air element shortages. If the same disorders happen in other seasons, the disorders related to the in organs, if the things happen at the if the disorders of the lungs, large intestine, skin or nose happening at only in the rainy season, then it is purely the imbalance of the air energy, you can say. If the same disorders occurring in some other season, then they may not be purely the air related disorders. Seasons have a very strong effect on the organs and the element as well. The discipline of the season is to be strictly followed. Acupuncture prescribes in every season, in all the seasons, the individual is supposed to go to bed early to bed and early to rise. So everybody to go to bed early, almost in all the seasons, and get up early in the morning. As we have mentioned, the timings of the air element, early morning 3 o'clock. So that is the time to get up and early to bed. We have mentioned in the organ clock timings, maximum of 9 o'clock. That is what the acupuncture defines everyone to. In rainy season, there is adequate air energy in the surroundings. So body receives and restores the air element energy for the whole year. The disorders, whichever is happening, as we have mentioned, it may not be related to the only the air element related organs or functions. Let it be any disorder occurring in the rainy season is related to mostly due to the air element imbalances. So they can be treated with the imbalance of the air element. And every sort of pain to have an element nature. The pains which keep moving, as we have mentioned, the movement is much related to the air element. So the pains to whichever shift from one location to other location. Sometimes in the lower part, sometimes in the middle part, the lateral part, something somewhere, it keeps moving left, right, left, right, left. So any pain
which shifts from one location to other location is 100% related to the air element imbalance. The shifting pain, when it attains the top of the body, especially the shoulder areas or the head, as air tends to move upward, take the uppermost location, the moving pain, the shifting pain, when reaches the shoulders or head, now it is not going to shift downwards. It may shift towards the upper direction, shifts and moves upwards. When it reaches the peak, then it cannot shift downwards. So all sort of pains or disorders which are on the uppermost part of the body are mostly due to the imbalances of air element. So the pains are related to the moving pains. And the emotion, every emotion is closely related to an element nature, any one of the element. And the grief, emotion is closely related to the air element. If the emotion is much strong, if the grief emotion is much strong, then the air within us may leave the body. It may leave the body. If it leaves, then that is the end of us. So grief is to be taken much serious. If some grievances, some death, somebody of close relation or something, then we feel grief. We are much oriented towards grief. So the air element within us will be affected to some extent. Generally, we used to take a deep breath, very big sigh of breath, whenever there is a short of air energy. People taking a deep breath, sigh. This is the action taken by the body of its own to balance the air within. So grief is a very strong emotion, much negative emotion. It affects the lungs. It imbalances our total organs, their performance. You may not feel to do any activity when you are at the grief. So it is quite common to feel grief for an action which has happened recently. But there are people, those who feel grief, even at the news in a channel or at the paper, by seeing that they used to feel, oh, this thing happened at so and so place, and they feel much grief. They feel much distracted. They will not be able to involve in any activity, their routine activities. And few people are there, those who think go to the past, a sad event which occurred before some 5 years, 10 years, even by just a think of it, just by remembrance of that, they feel short of air energy. They fall into grief. These are all serious discrepancies to be considered. A person who is not at all able to show this emotion grief, that anything happened, but he does not feel any grief. He goes in his day-to-day regular activities. He is not affected by any of it. It is also an imbalance of air. If you are able to balance the air within you, like a saint, a person who attained wisdom, that is different. But even for a common man, when it happens, it is purely due to the imbalance of air element energy. And the expression, every expression of us has some element nature related to, closely related. Sound is the expression related to air element. The sound which we produce, what we speak, shout something, the noise which we make use of the throat, that is the zone of the air element. The mouth of the lungs, from where we produce sounds. So they have very close relation to the air element. Any sort of sound, whatever sort of sound we hear, it may enhance or distract the air energy within us. Any sort of sound. As the Chinese mentioned, the air similar to the metal. I mentioned the air energy as metal energy. The sound of metals have the nature of enhancing the air element. Most of the traditions, they use the bell of metal, the ringing bell, the resonance produced by the bell. It has a very great impact in enhancing the air energy and the sound you hear after that resonance. So any sound in the religious side, when some prayers are being made, the sounds that is produced, the instruments that are played on different occasions, music, that is a sound. So all these have much close relation to the air element. Every sound produced, every sound. Apart from that, our names, our language, different locations with different language. They are also with some sort of sound, which is closely related to our geological location and the uniqueness of our body. The design, the body generated by that geographical location. Very close relation. Our language, the mother tongue, the sound produced, they have close relation with the air element energy. Even the names which we allot ourselves, we are being called by some name. Most traditions, they give the name of their ancestors, the gods to whom they pray. So just by calling the name of the relation, the sound produced, it gives you positive vibration, positive resonance. The name of the God. So everything has a close relation with the air energy need. And on occasions, there are the mantras, the hymns, which are specific to that occasion, they also have the close relation of enhancing the air element energy. Everything is identified as sound. The sound, whatever we produce, every name, every ringing sound, they have very close relation in enhancing as well as distracting. Whenever the instrument which is not related to the occasion is being played, it's distracting. Most traditions, they have variety of equipments, musical instruments for specific occasions. So sounds, expression of sounds, very close relation. Even within our body, they make some sound. Sometimes inside of the head, inside the ears, in the nose, sometimes in the throat itself. Belching, snoring, wheezing, all are sounds. Sometimes in our stomach, in the intestines, the urinary tract, in the knees, joints. So wherever it may be, if there is an expression of sound in any of these locations, any of the body location, it can be related to the imbalance of air element. So any sort of sound, when you are in a traffic, if you happen to listen a person sounding the horn many times, just you can understand he has a problem with the air element. But if you go abstract, if you are tensed by the sound, then you too have the imbalance of air element. Just like that, sound, whatever sound, they have close relation with the air element. Every color has a close relation. They represent an element, and white color represents the air energy. White. White color can enhance as well as distract air energy. Whoever is fond of air energy will tend to prefer white color in his lifestyle, in his surroundings, in his rooms, everywhere. He will prefer to have white. So white is a color to enhance as well as distract. It represents the air element. So whoever is in preference to a white. Now somebody may dislike white for any reason related, but it is closely related to the air element. Closely, very close relation. Any skin part or any of the fluids expressed by the body in white color. It may be in the hair, skin, eyes, nails, or in the menstruation cycle, in the discharge in the air, anywhere. If there is an expression of white color, it is related to the air element. It's an imbalance of air element. By means of using the white color, colors, they have a separate therapy. So the air imbalances can be balanced by means of white color, using white color. Very close relation they have. And order. Every order, that is the smell, order, has a close relation with one element. Every order. The order is very closely related to the body order. The body, if it is not cleansed regularly or naturally too, it expresses some order. Whenever there is a balance of air element, the body tends to express the fishy or bloody order. The order will be related to the order of the fish, smell of a fish, or a blood related order from the body. Every body has a. This cannot be felt regularly in everyone, but if you happen to enter the room of an old person or a person with a chronic disease for longer periods, then on entering the room, you can have the order, you can feel the smell, the fishy, the bloody. It means just by entering the room, you can recognize the element imbalanced in the human. So these orders represent the imbalance of air energy. Few people may like this order, fishy or bloody. They prefer to like this. They prefer to have this, have things with this order. They like it. Some may not like it totally. They hate this one. They may have different reactions, vomiting, something like that, related to this. This may be because they may have a well-balanced air energy, are very sensitive related to air energy, or by habitats from childhood, if they are not familiar with such fishy or bloody things, then they may not like. So it can be either way, a habitat or with sensitive air energies. So both can be calculated in this. And flavors. Every flavor has an orientation towards some element energy. The spicy, acrid, the flavor of a chili, the taste of a chili has a close relation with air imbalance. The flavor enhances as well as distracts air energy. The spicy and the acrid, that flavor has the very strong influence in the air. Whenever you tend to have something very hot, spicy, chilies, red chilies, definitely we tend to make some sound from our nose. Some sound, it's very hot. Automatically, some sound appears from the throat. The nose starts making its own noise. The upper part of the body, your face, it tends to show the air imbalance. So the flavor tends to enhance as well as balance. Now we have a disease in trend, the recent trend, corona, named corona, which is considered as a disorder of the lung. If you are affected, then it is very difficult. In today's class, we have talked about many things regarding the air element energy. So if you breathe in intensively, the lungs can have adequate air energy. You have seen grief. It will also tend to make some sound with the nose. Expression of sounds. The sound which you like more, it can treat your corona. It can treat. It can enrich air energy within you. It can enhance the function of lungs. So air energy can enhance such and such things. White color, that too can enhance the air energy within you. So anything, it always happens because of the short of energy in the lungs. So we have discussed many things to enhance the energy of lungs. So now we have come to the spicy thing, chili, acrid. So if you have some hot chilies, definitely it is going to enhance the energy to the lungs, which can throw your corona out. Definitely. Once you enhance the lungs with the air energy, it's going to throw out everything. Throw out everything. Very simple. So you can take the help of the spicy item to get rid of the energy shortage by lungs. So spicy flavor enhances some distracts. How it distracts? When acrid things, when the chili based things are consumed in excess, our lungs will be energized at the same moment. But when it is transferred to the large intestine, it too gains the excess energy of air. When large intestine gets excess energy, then it throws out everything which comes in. So it will empty the large intestine totally within no time. Anything which is entering, it will be thrown away immediately. So the spicy thing can do that also. It can enhance as well as distract. As we have seen, overall, the expression of sounds belong to air element, but there is a specific sound which belongs to the air element. That is crying, weeping. Whenever we cry, we enhance the air energy. Whenever we cry. So if you are affected by corona, you can cry for half an hour. Half an hour you will cry, your lungs will get energy, sufficient energy, which can throw away the corona. Very simple way. Crying. When we come out of our mother's womb, every child tends to cry, or it is made to cry. Why? Till the time where we are inside the mother's body, our lungs are the non-performing organs. They do not come into action. When we come out, the lungs have to function immediately and provide oxygen, air energy to the body. To enhance the function of lung, the cry is being initiated. If the child is able to initiate itself, it's well and good. Otherwise, the people around will give a blow, strong blow, to make the child cry. And the child cries, then only the lungs start functioning. So the crying or the weeping, it enhances the function of lungs. Just by during birth also, we can conclude this one. As we have mentioned, the specialities of air element. Whoever is having the best air element, air oriented person, they have the tendency to attain wisdom. They have every organ to their best performance. Very good memory power. Least resistant, bearing high pressure, everything we have seen. So, by the cry of the child during birth, if the child is able to manage the function of lungs without crying itself, if the lungs of the child started its own performance function, then the child really has a super personality, the personality of a saint, the personality of a high wisdomized person. If the child cries itself to initiate the function of lung, then it is in a position, it can manage its own needs. It can manage. Whatever the situation may be, it will react and it will handle by its own. An efficient common man, you can say. But if the child could not cry also, someone from outside influencing, giving him a slap, making him cry, making his lung to function. So if you start crying, then your lungs start functioning. So initially itself, the child needs somebody's help to perform its own basic functionalities. So lifetime is going to be in need of such and such support. He may develop himself later on by understanding there is nobody to give a slap now and then. He may correct himself. But the basic you can understand, mostly the majority will be always expecting some sort of support from nearby, from their surroundings. They will be expecting something to give them a slap. So these basic things also define what personality you are. Very simple. And the fluid, every fluid of the body has some element orientation. And the mucus is closely related to the air element. Mucus generally what we feel in the nose. The nose, whatever we feel, that we consider as mucus. If there is a distraction in the air element or in the air element related organ, there is mucus formation in the air, or dryness, total dryness, harshness in the nose or in the path of air. So mucus is the fluid which is generated to protect the nasal part and to cool the air which is entering the nose and lungs. Mucus is to cool. When it is generated to cool, there is automatically the inbuilt meaning is there is something heat in the body. The body is exposed to some heat or heat generating condition. The body is forced to generate heat. So it has started producing excess mucus to cool the path of the air, nose, as well as lungs. So the formation of mucus is mostly due to heat of the body. The mucus is not only in the nose or the lungs tract, but all around. The mucus is not only in the nose or the tract of the lungs, but all around. Whenever we take food, the food particles should not touch the internal organs directly. The path of the food from the food tract till the anus to the end of the large intestine, there is a coating of mucus to prevent the direct contact of the article whichever is being sent inside. There is a layer of mucus. So all these things are decided by the air element energy. If there is a short or excess of imbalance of air energy, then the formation of mucus or the need of the mucus may go up or down. But whatever the body does, it is a symptom. It creates the mucus excess or short, but only to protect itself, only to balance its functionality. So we need that. There are certain other factors also which produce the mucus, which can disturb other functionalities also. Those things we will discuss when we discuss about the fire element. That we will go on. At present, the mucus. So the mucus is generated only to protect the body. It is a layer which protects the body, internal body organs from other things. So these are all, whatever we have seen till now, are the factors, certain characters related to the air element within us. There's a lot of list. So every element has its own factors, and every nature will be discussed in the coming sessions. These are the basic requirement of health concept. We need to understand these things to treat our body in a very simple way. As we have seen, inhaling air enriches the lungs. Short of air energy can be enhanced by intaking. The usage of the air element can be enhanced by exhaling the air intensively. We inhale intensively, the supply of air is being ensured. When we exhale, the usage of the air element within us is being made sure to its best. So every element is to be supplied to the air energy, body, as well as it is to be ensured it functions to the need of the body. As far as air is concerned, very simple. Taken intensively and sent out intensively. Simple enough. As we have discussed many times, if there are 10,000 diseases counted till now in the world, we tend to bring all the 10,000 in the category of 5 elements. So for every element, there are 2,000 diseases. So how to find out the nature of 2,000 elements? We have gone through the nature of air element. So in an average, it is. For 2,000 diseases, we have found out the reason. What may be the reason? And how it will be expressed by means of flavor, order, colors, many factors, sounds. We have seen lot many. And in the organ in which it is expressed, nose, throat, lungs, something. So all these can be found out exactly, precisely. You can locate the disorder by means of element base. So just we can have a list out. What are the things which can distract our air energy? Till now, whatever we have seen, if there is shortage of air circulation in the surroundings, in the location we live, enclosed rooms, enclosed, fully enclosed, very less air circulation is done. Then in a short period, you will feel short of air energy. You will feel short because circulation of air is limited and we keep utilizing the oxygen inside the room. At one period, we are going to feel short. If we tend to cover ourselves fully with something, cloth, blankets, bed sheets, tightly, then also we may feel short of air energy. When we can get distracted by short, we can also be distracted by some overexposure. When exposed to high speed winds, open drive for a long period, so we can be distracted. And as we have seen, a very sad atmosphere, a very grief generating atmosphere, some accident, some location where, so suddenly we may feel short of air energy. The air around us may not be sufficient enough to get rid of that grief. So grief generating situations. And as we have seen, sounds, excess sound, so distracting sound. In the city traffic, the traffic signals, so much noise. So they may distract the air energy, which may imbalance the air energy within us, the performance of the lungs and large intestine. So too much noise. So whenever we feel short of energy, we tend to prefer a location where there is no noise at all, a noise-free location, totally silent. Or sounds, pleasant sounds. So all are very much close to imbalance as well as distract air elements. Air elements mean it relates to the organs which are related to air, their performance. At the same time, very cool. And there is a cool atmosphere. then the movement of air may distract, imbalance, excess acrid taste, very cool food items, which can also force the body to generate heat. When the body generates heat, automatically mucus also will be generated more, which are all having the tendency to imbalance air element. So where all the locations we can have disorders related to air? We have the list just now. In our lungs, whatever disorder we feel, if it is in rainy season, it's perfect. It's purely air related. If it is in other seasons, suppose if it is in summer is hot. Hot may be related to fire. So fire and air, both together they have the disorder. Both are in trouble. Because only the rainy season is dominated by the air element. So the lungs are supposed to get diseased only in rainy seasons. Only that mean that it's an imbalance of air. If it is in other season, which belongs to some other element, then definitely we need to consider that one related to the other element. If it is throughout the year, then we have to handle in some other way. There may be some common reason for this. So lungs, nose, any disorder related to nose, it's purely related to hair. Any disorder related to the skin, it's purely, if it is only in rainy season, then it can be considered as purely air element related. If it is in other seasons, then we need to link the disorder related to other elements also. So one element, it's organ, related organ, maintained organ or something. If it is disturbed in other seasons, we need to connect between these two elements. As we have seen, any disorder which is highlighted in the day, early in the morning, 3 to 5, that is the timing of the lungs. So if it is a disorder of the lung, you can simply say it is related to air element. But lung is affected throughout the day. But some other thing also happening in the morning, 3 to 5 timings. Then we need to consider that it has a close relation with the lungs. So any discrepancy recurring at the timing of morning 3 to 5 is to be treated in the lungs. And 5 to 7 is the timing of the large intestine. So any discrepancy or disorder recurring at that timing 5 to 7 is to be treated in the large intestine. The large intestine, the organ is in condition which could not balance the air element energy. So any tract, air tract, the nasal part, throat, any discrepancy or disorder occurring in these locations have a close relation with air element. The nature of discrepancy will link to the other element. In the next session, we will be discussing the lung meridian, the large intestine meridian, and the points which are located in the meridians and their specialities. Not all the specialities they have. So that time we will understand which discrepancy relates which elements. So we will discuss each and every view. So throat, nose, shoulder, head, all these disorders, whatever we have discussed here, they are all related to air element. Any sort of sound which is being produced, it may be nose, it may be throat, it may be in the air, it may be within the head, it may be in the shoulder, it may be in the joints, it may be in the urinary tract, anywhere. So all these are related to the air element. Somebody is snoring heavily. Sound. Snoring is a sound. So you can simply come to the place. Is air related. What is to be done? Air is to be taken in or taken out, sent out. So just by a simple this one mean, you can bring the disorder to an end. Very simple. Belching, crying. Crying happens whenever someone falls short of air energy. You have seen. When there is a grief occasion, if it is too much, then the breath itself, the air itself may leave the body and go off. It may not come back. So we tend to cry. If it is too much, then we tend to cry with a great sound, with a bursting sound. So every activity is closely related to some element. Every activity is closely. So we have discussed the air element related activities today. When we discuss the related organs and activities, there is also a solution within for every discrepancy and every disorder. In the generation of Earth, the generation of living creatures, humans are the best among all the living creatures. Who can think of the past, who can take control of the future, at the same time create himself his own trouble, as well as solve the problems of others too. Worldwide, not only within certain limits, but worldwide. At the same time, we are unique also. We are combination of all the 5 elements in a totally different, unique ratio. And with the yin yang also, a unique nature. Unique, very unique. Whatever combination, whatever ratio I have, nobody in the universe has the same ratio of yin yang as well as the 5 elements. As we have seen, air is the element which can provide wisdom to everybody. Wisdom is not just knowledge. It is a thing above all. The saints which can control the total surroundings. As we all know, the religious gurus, the philosophers, great philosophers, and almost all the great performers are all the persons with rich air energy who can understand the beings, living creatures around them, who can understand them, their troubles, all sort of troubles, whatever the surrounding people have, just by a look, the resonance of their body, the energy transmission, positive, negative of the organs, everything they understand. Not only with that, with the nature also, all the five elements in which the earth acts, the climatic changes. There is the most important element to make the climate change within us also. All the disturbance can be made by a single breath. At the same time, all can be solved by means of a single breath. In the Earth's atmosphere, the air shifts from one location to other location. How it shifts? Due to the rotation of the Earth. The Earth revolves around as well as rotates around the sun. It also tilts itself the 23.5 degrees. This 23 is a very important number. The last, if you have time, let us discuss about certain things, certain observations, whatever we have seen. And the distance from the sun, the temperature in the Earth's atmosphere. Daytime, the Earth tends to heat up faster, and at night time, the Earth portion, land portion tends to get cooler fast. So the air, due to this temperature variation, starts shifting, from moving from one location to other location, which plays a major role in the climatic changes of the Earth. Within our body too, all the fluctuations, all the variations, even a minute change within tends to a very large fluctuation of the Earth element. So Earth is the most vital element. The intensive, immense power. If anybody is able to regulate, control, have a relaxed breath, he can have total control of his body, his mind, as well as his surroundings. So in the next session, let us discuss about the organs, meridians, the important points, and their specialities. The next session will be on Saturday. So I thank you all for attending this session. I thank especially for our well-wisher, Mr. Baskar, in helping us meet each other. Thank you all. Thank you very much.